I would not be surprised one of these days, could be today, to see UMAC up like 80%, you know, like something like PDY ended 130%. Wouldn't be surprised. So took a bet on UMAC this morning. I got to tell you, there's a possibility UMAC does something crazy like this over the next couple days. All right. I think there's a high chance, very high chance we'll see 960 again today. Good chance we'll see over 10, and definitely a possibility this thing does $10, $15, $20 over the next few days. So UMAC, all right, got to make that, even now at these prices, up 45%, got to make it the number one pick of the day. I can tell you, as I'm thinking about it, as I'm talking about this out loud with you guys, you know, I think I got to buy some long-term shares here. I think I do. I only have exposure now in my trade account. I'm going to do it right now on the air. All right. UMAC, even though, okay, I'm going to buy it high, get it, but that's okay. All right. We're going to buy some more shares here, but this time it's going into my long-term account. I was in Mara this morning. I sold Mara to buy more UMAC, and that's looking to be the right decision. I don't think you're going to find anything better than UMAC today, even at this price right here, Brett. Is that crazy?
Yeah, I know. Look at it. They could have bought into, and they'd already be making money this morning. So.
Oh my god. I'm still underweight. I mean, because it's such a no-brainer. It's such a no-brainer. 45 million. I'm like, $45 million market cap. Well, before the 65% move. And Donald Trump Jr., I'm like, I should be all in. Honestly, let me see if I should buy more somewhere. Okay, so you have an additional tailwind in RCAT as a defense stock, plus this event after the close. Yesterday, on that anticipation, we hit 562. I think this is a really good bet. I got some in pre-market, some trading shares on top of my core shares, because I'm anticipating a move even beyond this 510 ask here right now. All right.
Hitchcock can take it away.
I'll just leave this up for a few seconds.
I took it all the way to 550.
A few quick notes on the web while
I'm buying as much as I can.
Slide up. So
all the way to 550.
again, we designed this in less than 5 months, and we delivered.
Look at this technical breakout. You see how beautiful this is, right? It's a little bit hard to see.
No, I see it. It's gorgeous right there. Look at that.
Okay, that's your target. 775. Okay, we're at 555, 559 now. Guys, listen, I'm getting validation on social media. Getting validation on social media from the likes of Dan Ives, Jim Cramer, who is not a good indicator, but when you have Dan Ives and Jim Cramer agreeing, basically saying everything I was saying in the morning show, yeah, we're talking about $926 billion company. Dan Ives is like, this is a $1.5 billion company. Automation is going to be fast-tracked in terms of federal regulations and stuff. Take a look at this. I'm looking at, let's pull back to the weekly chart. If you go to the daily, you're like, oh, it's so scary, you got a gap here, oh my god, right? Okay, well, you can look, first of all, even on the daily, we're so close to that 299, it's going to test it soon. And then right after that, this is the magnet right there at 314.67. So your target's 300 to 314, 300 to 315, let's call it. But if you don't want to be scared of the gap, pull up a weekly chart, okay? When you put up a weekly chart, just look at this and think about how important this catalyst is. This is an inflection catalyst. This means this is a catalyst when you know, 5 years from now, you look back at the stock and you look at the chart, you can identify a point in time, right? How important is it that Trump is elected and Elon Musk is at his side and basically put him in office, right? How important is that to the company? Obviously, it's hugely important. How big should that candle be? How big should that inflection be when you look back in this chart in time from the future, right? And when you look at the weekly chart, hey, we haven't even gotten started. This 15% move is nothing. It's a blip. You haven't even missed it yet. So when can we see this like really peak out or I don't want to say peak out, but when is this thing going to capitulate to the upside, at least temporarily? Guess when that's going to be? I think it's pretty clear. January 20th. There's going to be a lot of hype building into that. Most of the run's probably going to happen well before that. November, December. Maybe you see this thing have that capitulation high, you know, towards inauguration day, right after inauguration. Everything's going to be baked in by then. So again, look at these weekly candles. How big should these weekly candles be to represent this monumental thing that's really going to impact fundamentals for Tesla? I mean, look, this 299 to 315, that's like very short term. That could be tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow or Friday or Monday, might very well be tomorrow, 300 to 315. If you want to talk about a game-changing inflection for the company, you got to think this thing has got to be maybe somewhere between 380 and the all-time high by inauguration day. All right, or at least 360 to 415 by inauguration day. That's my target. This is the opportunity. That's the analysis. Guys, listen, I'm getting validation on social media. From the likes of Dan Ives, Jim Cramer, who is not a good indicator, but when you have Dan Ives and Jim Cramer agreeing, basically saying everything I was saying in the morning show, we're talking about $926 billion company. Dan Ives is like, this is a $1.5 billion company. Automation is going to be fast-tracked in terms of federal regulations and stuff. Take a look at this. I'm looking at, let's pull back to the weekly chart. If you go to the daily, you're like, oh, it's so scary. You got a gap here. Oh my God. Right. Okay. Well, you can look, first of all, even on the daily, we're so close to that 299. It's going to test it soon. And then right after that, this is the magnet right there at 314.67. So your target's 300 to 314, 300 to 315, let's call it. But if you don't want to be scared of the gap, pull up a weekly chart. Okay. When you put up a weekly chart, just look at this and think about how important this catalyst is. This is an inflection catalyst. This means this is a catalyst when 5 years from now, you look back at the stock and you look at the chart, you can identify a point in time, right? How important is it that Trump is elected and Elon Musk is at his side and basically put him in office, right? How important is that to the company? Obviously, it's hugely important. How big should that candle be? How big should that inflection be when you look back in this chart in time from the future, right? And when you look at the weekly chart, hey, we haven't even gotten started. This 15% move is nothing. It's a blip. You haven't even missed it yet. So when can we see this like really peak out? Or I don't want to say peak out, but when is this thing going to capitulate to the upside, at least temporarily? Guess when that's going to be? I think it's pretty clear. January 20th. There's going to be a lot of hype building into that. Most of the run's probably going to happen well before that. November, December. Maybe you see this thing have that capitulation high, towards inauguration day, right after inauguration. Everything's going to be baked in by then. So again, look at these weekly candles. How big should these weekly candles be to represent this monumental thing that's really going to impact fundamentals for Tesla? I mean, look, this 299 to 315, that's like very short term. That could be tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow or Friday or Monday, might very well be tomorrow, 300 to 315. If you want to talk about a game-changing inflection for the company, you got to think this thing has got to be maybe somewhere between 380 and the all-time high by inauguration day. All right, or at least 360 to 415 by inauguration day. That's my target. This is the opportunity. That's the analysis.
Let me start with Tesla. Tesla, this is one where we're not closing out, all right, the trade card. First of all, our target was 270 to 300, hasn't reached that yet. Second of all, I mean, are you kidding me? Elon Musk is somehow going to be paid back for what is done for Trump. All right, that's obvious. Everybody knows that. And beyond that, we called the bottom in Tesla. Like the trade card, we nailed that one, and we're like, this is the long-term inflection point for Tesla. It's the last of the big mega caps that now has to catch up. And I'm looking for all-time highs in Tesla. I think this is where you hold Tesla, just like we've been holding Bitcoin since a few months ago for new all-time highs. I think Tesla, the new all-time highs are going to come. I'm not saying the next couple months, but in the next 2 to 3 years, at least. This is heading over $414 in my view. So that's Tesla. This is one where I like it, meaning I think the gains will hold, and you can look for opportunities to buy the dip. I think the dips are going to be bought in Tesla. As far as levels, I don't know. Let's see. You got this pre-market at 278, double bottom. You see that? Maybe that's a spot if you want to try to day trade 278. But I have a fairly good size position in my long-term account that I'm just going to hold. Okay, so that's what I'm doing with Tesla. Am I going to pick up some day trade, something or other? By the way, Tesla calls, I mentioned it in the Discord like 5 times yesterday because I thought it was a great way to play on a Trump victory. Let me just say, Tesla is not over. Not over at all. I updated the price target in our 4-pillar channel in our Discord, gave you guys a new price target. We had 270 to 299. We upgraded that price target to 300 to 315. Where is it? There's a 300. I gotta go to weekly candles. 300 to 315. Okay, 300 right there to 315 right there. That's the more near-term targets. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes by Monday. Who knows? Might even come today or tomorrow. 300 to 315. Trump coming in and really doing, again, kind of what was expected, saying he's not going to do that EV credit, $7,500 EV credit. People who understand the politics of this knew that was going to happen, okay? This is not really a surprise, and I don't think any of the bulls, including Dan Ives, and there's some other commentary out there saying this was kind of expected, and it doesn't change our thinking. It doesn't change my thinking in terms of new all-time highs, because guess what? Full self-drive, FSD, when that happens, the benefit of that is going to way overcome. We're talking about like 95% profit margins. I don't know what they're going to charge, $100 a month, maybe more. I'm not sure. But, getting that approved from a regulatory perspective is going to be a boon for Tesla, not to mention all the other projects and the robo-taxi and things like that. Good morning, guys. It's Friday, December 6th. We are ready for another action-packed, exciting day. Welcome back, Rhett. We missed you yesterday, but yesterday was crazy. We had 2 major calls yesterday. One was very accurate. One was very inaccurate, at least for now. Let's talk about the one that was accurate first. Tesla. Unbelievable. Look at this. We've been calling this every step of the way since the election, all over this. We called this breakout early yesterday morning. Actually, the night before, we said Tesla's going to be a top pick tomorrow. We're going to break out. How did we do that, man? We have a knack for this stuff. So Tesla, we said the 2 levels, 365, then 385. Those are 2 levels we gave you. Said we break 365, then we go to 385. By the way, we're talking about that for weeks, that 385 was going to be the next level after around 360. So here we are. We hit 379 this morning. This thing's gone. Still my largest position in my retirement account. Unfortunately, it didn't really trade it or put a trade position on it. Yesterday, I had like 1 Tesla call, and I probably didn't even play that right yesterday. I cannot intraday trade Tesla calls. It's too volatile for me. Drives me freaking crazy. I can't do it. All right. So I just have a big position. Anyway, Tesla was a top pick yesterday. And wow, we're like that 385 can happen quickly. It can even happen this week. Look, 378, almost there. And then we're forecasting consistently. We've been forecasting all-time new highs of above 415, proximal to inauguration day. Who knows? At this rate, it may even come before that. When I say proximal to inauguration date, January 20th, I'm talking about within 2 to 3 weeks, either side of inauguration is when we get the new all-time highs on Tesla. So Tesla going to be a top 5 pick again today with this breakout, 385, your next target. Now, the incorrect call yesterday, which I paid for. Now, yesterday was the first day my day trading account had any kind of meaningful drop in well over a month. Man, it's been a crazy month. Yesterday, I was pounding the table on Tesla, on Bitcoin, and I made a prediction that I guess was wrong. I said, once we break 100,000, we're not going back below. And I said, if we go back below 100,000, it'll be very transient, a matter of minutes. Maybe my prediction will end up being right, but instead of a matter of minutes, maybe it's a matter of a half a day or something that we transiently went below 100,000. But yesterday I took day trades on Mara, on Bitcoin when we're approaching 100,000, and it didn't hold, went to like 98,000. So that was my day trade account. I had to be disciplined. I had to take the loss and be cash at the end of the day there. So that didn't work out. After hours, made a little bit of that back. Good thing I stuck around, picked up some BITX on this little flash crash and made good money, but didn't make up for the rough day yesterday. So 2 very bold predictions yesterday. One came true, one didn't, at least for the very near term. Tesla, again, it will be a top 5 pick today, but not Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin, we got it tucked away in the long term. I'm not, especially after yesterday, especially now we're back below 100. I don't have like faith in what's going to happen with crypto plays or Bitcoin today. All right. So now macro, look, I'm just reiterating, we're in Santa rally mode. There was jobs data out this morning. I think the jobs are stronger than expected, but unemployment rate was like worse than expected. Who knows? At this point, I think it's just the market pump. Santa rally, a lot of tax deferral going on. No one wants to sell their winners and pay the big taxes. Okay. So we gave you a target of now 62.69 on RK. It's about to hit that. We're at 61.15 now. I've been talking about tax deferral selling happening first couple days in January. I think that's the play. I think we're going to keep on melting up / sideways, whatever. You're not going to see big sell-offs. People don't want to pay those taxes. Okay, so things are good, right? And risk is on for whatever reason. The bond market likes the jobs data this morning, whether it was unemployment or whatever, however they look at it, which is another bullish tailwind for IWM and risk assets this morning. All right, so that's a macro look. ERs. Now, last night, we did well. We, at least I did, and I gave the alerts in the Discord if you guys were quick enough. But one of them we swung into today a little bit, and that's going to be, where did it go? GitLab. We'll talk about it in a second. But anyway, every morning, we look at all the earnings reports, and we look for opportunities where the price appreciation has not caught up quickly enough with the magnitude of the beat. And the one we really zeroed in on yesterday, you can see here a lot of big moves here. Wow, Wolf up 24%. We played that a little bit. Lululemon up 9%. But the one we really zeroed in on, which is going to be the number 1 pick of the day, is GitLab. And GitLab, I alerted this last night at $71. Where is this? Okay, there we go. Let me go to a 5-minute chart. All right, alerted this one at $71, and I was loading up. It is now probably 40% of my day trade account, from $71 all the way to $74.25. At this point at 71, the stock was up 7%, but the magnitude of their beat, their guidance beat, was over 30%. Now, for the quarter, I think it was a beat by 50%, but take this with a grain of salt, because the magnitude of the beat, there were low numbers, right? We're talking about like, what was it? Like 60 cents instead of 40 cents or something like that for the full year. All right. Those are low numbers. When you want to do this little trick of, it's basically calling for an inline move, like the percentage of the beat versus estimates. And you look for that percentage in the stock, but that's more accurate when you talk bigger numbers, right? When the EPS, when you have EPS in the dollars, very accurate. When your EPS is in the cents, under a dollar, it's less accurate, right? You're not going to look for that full inline move, right? Like, for example, if someone is forecasting a penny and they get 3 pennies, obviously the stock's not going to go up 200%, right? Because it's very easy to squeeze out 2 pennies cost savings or whatever it is you're doing. But if you're like forecasting $4 and you get $5, all right, that's much more reasonable. Say, let's get a 20% re-rating. So here, under a dollar territory, when you beat by 50% for the quarter and like 35% for the year guide and something like that, you're not going to get that full inline move, but it certainly should be well over 7%. That's why we made it the number 1 pick, right? Now, once you're up over 7%, look, this is beautiful. Now you're up 13%. Let's now look at the technicals, refer to the technicals. We put all these levels last night and this morning in the Discord for everybody. If you're in our community, you're in at $71, $72. Now it's $74.50. But let's look at these technicals again. Let's see what I find here. I already documented them, but we'll just do the exercise again here with you live. All right. So there's a level in here that's got to be watched. What is this? The high of this candle. The high of that candle, we're well above that 66. Maybe you could call that support. It's not going to get to 66 today. All right, then we go to the bottom of this candle and this gap here. That's 72.51. That's a more reasonable support for today, 72.51. Then you go to the high of that candle, 76.41. These 3 numbers I'm going to give you. The low of this candle, 72.51 to 76.41. Support, resistance, next target, 78.53. And I think that's the high target I have for the day I put out in the Discord. All right. I think we can see 78.53 today. Take a look at all the analyst upgrades. There's a ton of them. We posted it all in our Discords. Analysts agree that this can go into those figures, maybe higher. All right. At least I'm not saying today. When I say maybe higher, I'm talking about their price targets, a bunch of price targets above $80. All right. So that is going to be, that is the number 1 pick of the day. All right. GitLab. All right, I'm going to make Tesla the number 2 pick of the day. There's a bunch of other ERs. I don't have time to go through all of them. Definitely some opportunities may still exist here. Woof is an interesting one, but it didn't make the top 5. We scalped it a little bit yesterday. You can take a look at that report if you want. But the other one that's interesting to me is Lululemon. All right, so Lululemon also gave an alert in this last night. I played this well. I got in like 350s, low 350s, around 370. But I also had 1 call option. Yay! I was contemplating getting like a bunch of out of the money call options, but then I said, let me just play 1 in the money call option. So in the money, it'll be up well over 100% today. Lululemon, I think may have more to get. Lululemon, because look, actually, I don't remember what the magnitude of the beat was. I think it was closer to 5 or 6%. You see, we're up at 8.5%. So why do I still like this? Because this is where story trading comes into place. We're not pure fundamental investors or fundamental traders. We look at sentiment, catalysts, technicals, and fundamentals. We look at all of it. You got to combine it and look at things holistically. So if you're breaking out, then you got to refer to the chart. This is a sky blue breakout, guys. Not only that, if you look at the history, this used to be such a beloved stock and brand. And it's still, the reason I had my eyes on Lulu is a powerhouse brand. And I knew they'd be back at some point. Look at this. Like, they had a couple of rough ERs. And, I had my eye on them because this brand is not going to go away. You don't take that brand clout you have. It doesn't die overnight. I guess, I don't know, maybe there was some competition, but all the girls in your world still love Lulu and still know Lulu. I mean, this is a powerhouse brand. That's why I had my eyes on it. The chart, it's been down so much, right? So now that things are reversing, they beat and raised, right? I think for a couple quarters, they didn't beat and raise, and there was some concern about competition. Now they beat and raised again. So it's like, all right, we got all this room potentially to make up for. I'm now talking from a kind of sentiment and valuation point of view. Now that the sentiments maybe improved, that they're growing again, but then you look at the technicals and you have this sky blue breakout. Wow. Well, you got some resistance here. Where's this? What is this candle right there? That is 368. We're above 368, folks. I have to tell you, the next resistance is the bottom of the gap up here, all the way at 419. So this, you cannot justify 419 based on the magnitude of the beat. But we're story traders. We combine the fundamentals and the technicals, and I'm telling you, the price target for me is 419 right now. There were a lot of analyst upgrades, by the way, this morning, and several of them were over $400. All right, I don't know what the high one was. Let's see. We got a 438 from Stifel. That may be the high. Guggenheim, 415. There's a bunch lower too, 315, 350. Here's a 430 from Telsey. Here's a 420 from Truist. So this can be supported. We're only 375 now. So LULU is going to be a top 5 pick of the day. Potentially seeing 419 today is possible. It's in the cards. I know that sounds crazy, but we're talking about, we're talking about maybe a 18 to 20% move would do it. It's in the realm of possibility, folks. So I got Tesla in my trade account, plus that one call option, which is going to pay well today. That'll be in the top 5. All right. Now, there's a lot of other stuff going on. It's a tough call to say which ones get into the top 5. But I put a 4-pillar pick up there. Now, those of you who know, I was actually surprised I didn't have an official 4-pillar pick on Tesla. By the way, Red, if you can change out the banner on the bottom, let people know how they can use their Discord. But GEO, I guess it was just an oversight that I didn't put it officially in the 4-pillar pick channel in Discord, but I always talk about it. Everyone knows that I've been accumulating. Actually, I have common shares and I've been accumulating January $30 call options on GEO. Look, yesterday, this was a top pick because of this candle the day prior. Bounced off the 20 DMA. It was almost like almost fully engulfed all of this previous consolidation zone in one session. So got on our radars. I had a good morning. Didn't quite close out the way I wanted, but we're still kind of above this consolidation zone, getting ready to break out. But a sentiment reason, I think it's also ready, because Bitcoin breaking out towards 100, we can say now, instead of over 100, right? To the 100,000 range. Bitcoin breakout since the election. Tesla, according to our thesis, perfect since the election, right? These are Trump trades. All right. What else is the Trump trade? The immigration stocks. And I think people will say, oh, maybe we're ready for the next leg up, right? So Tesla, you had that big move, similar chart to Tesla and GEO, by the way. You had that big initial move after the election. You had consolidation, now secondary move. GEO, big initial move, consolidation, secondary move. All right. Bitcoin was more like straight up, but let's see what that Bitcoin looks like. Bitcoin, well, you had some consolidation, right? You had that big move up, consolidation, secondary move. So I think that that sentiment, people will see it, right? Like literally, they'll see it the way I am. They're like, okay, the Trump stocks are taking the second leg up. Let's take GEO up also. That's literally the psychological process that investors are going through. So, I'm predicting that investor psychology here. So I think GEO ready for its next leg up. I got a $45 price target on this thing, guys. It's $29. It matches that price target, matches fundamental work that Godfather is doing in our Discord. It matches technical work that Vince is doing in our Discord. So I'm going to call GEO a top 5 pick here because of the strength in Tesla and Bitcoin the last couple of days. Okay. So we got GitLab, we got Tesla, we got LULU, we got GEO. That's 4. Here's one more for you. An old favorite of ours. We rode the whole way from 2.7. If you're in our Discord, man, this was my biggest winner of the year. I didn't make as much in RCAT, believe it or not. Didn't even make as much in UMAC because I did not sell a single share of TSSI from $3 all the way to $10. Big size, rode it the whole entire way. All right. I did not like the earnings report, so I sold as much as I could. And after hours on that earnings report, you can see that gap down. The rest of the next day, I thought we'd be stuck in a 7 to 10 range. This thing recently broke out of the 10 range right here at 1051 by 1055 now. But yesterday they had a news report. All right. Okay. Why did I sell? By the way, I'm shooting myself in the foot here because I don't really have a big position in this yet. I bought a little bit of shares last night for my trade account. That's it. So, and it's a microcap, 223 million. So I would like to get more, but in any case, 7 to 10 range. Why did I get out? Not so much because of the EPS. In fact, we're looking for a 15-cent EPS to sustain the move, right? We are at 13. We're like, if we want to stay in this above 10 range and keep moving higher, we need at least 15 cents. That's what the math said. But I put a note in the Discord the day before earnings, or the day of earnings. If we don't get 15, if we get 10 cents, if we get 12 cents, hold it. It's not the end of the world. Everything's great because this company's exploding. The reason I sold out is because they guided for no growth. In fact, maybe even a little drop in growth. They're like, yeah, at best, the next couple quarters will look like this quarter we just had. I'm like, what? Like sequentially, you're not growing? I bailed. Now, that may have been rectified yesterday. Last night after the close, TSSI signs long-term lease for larger factory, more than double space to almost 213,000 square feet, and expands power infrastructure. You can go read the press release. Now, they already indicated that they were going to go to a larger facility, but this 213,000 square foot facility, they upgraded it. They had indicated a smaller facility they were going to upgrade to. This size is 25% higher than they previously had guided people to. So now we can say maybe they were sandbagging. Either they were sandbagging, all right, when they gave the official guidance, or new orders recently came in. So TSSI back in play. See, it's 1051 by 1055 right now. As far as targets go, obviously the proximal high is an easy place. Look at this place right here. Wow. So I would say rather than the top of the wick here, which is 1168, I'd say a more reasonable target for today is 11. All right. But anywhere from 11 to 1168, that'll be like your first target zone. I'm not going to say 13 today. You never know. But TSSI back in play for today, even possibly for a day trade right now, 1055, top 5 pick. I don't have a long-term position now. I'd like to maybe get back into it. All right. Got a little bit of a trade position from last night at $10.20. All right. So those are the top 5 picks, Rhett. I mean, there's so much other stuff we can talk about. I'll just say there's a lot of stuff going on in drone world. There's a lot of controversy now with UMAC, which we played beautifully from 5 to 20, but I got back in a little bit early. All right. So I'm paying for that right now. We've interviewed the CEO of RCAT before, and we learned a lot about UMAC and other things. We're interviewing the CEO of UMAC Tuesday morning on this show. Okay. Tuesday morning on this show. So make sure you're following us, whether it's on X or YouTube or whatever, or join our Discord community so you can get the inside track as we, come towards that, and you can help us figure out what questions we're going to ask and everything if you're in a Discord. But I'm still bullish on this. All right. A lot of people are not. We'll see what happens, but you can join our Discord and find out the details. Rhett, what do you think?
I'm really loving the top 5 pick spin. I really like Tesla and Lulu, especially Lulu.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. And I mean, not even just for a day trade, but also a swing trade on this one as well. So,
you know what? That's the thing. And I told people on the show yesterday, because look at these picks we have here. We're saying these are good for today, but every single one of these, every single one has a real good, solid reason behind why I like them. Fundamentals, inflection points, sentiment inflection points, fundamental inflection points, very strong catalyst, right? And I always tell people, a lot of people who are like pure fundamental investors, they have a misnotion of what we do here and kind of critical of me sometimes. Oh, Ben's just like a fast money trader. I'm an investor. They think they're better than us, right? So look, like 90% of my money is in long-term positions. And the trade ideas we give you are based on inflection catalysts. And I was telling people yesterday, if you open an account and just buy like leaps, right, in every stock that I come in here and say, this is an inflection point catalyst, buy leaps on it, like a year out, put it in some long-term account, like you'd be a billionaire. Like I called the inflection points in Hood, in HIMS, in Tesla, I'm all over them, like I've been doing this for 30 years and it's very easy for me to spot those inflection point catalysts. So if you don't want to day trade, the reason I'm day trading is I do this full time. What I'm going to do, stare at my screen the whole day and do nothing. Like that's a waste of time. If I see opportunities during the day, I'm going to trade. Right? If you have a full-time job and you can't day trade, you take all this wonderful knowledge we give you and take it and buy Lulu for the long term, buy GEO for a longer term, buy TSSI for the long term, buy GitLab for the long term. Until what? Until the story changes, right? GitLab will be good until the next earnings report that we have to reevaluate then. Buy Tesla for the long term. All right. So this is pretty unique what we do because we're trading based on reality and real things that really improve valuations of companies. We're not just trading based on numbers on a screen and volatility and bullshit. So in any case, you get the best of both worlds when you are part of our Discord community. All right. So you didn't comment on GitLab though. I'm sticking with GitLab as my number 1 pick of the day, Rhett. Although, GitLab's already come up from 7%. We've already juiced 6% out of this number 1 pick.
I have a resistance level at 75.11, Ben, right around there.
Yeah. Okay, I'm
So
like
just
76
to be
or so, so we're
cautious
close.
of that level right there. And then the next level I have is going to be 76.65, which if we break the 75, I definitely think we're going to be heading towards that 76 area.
So, there's an argument to be made like at this point because the number one pick already, we got 6% out of it, and Lulu hasn't moved as much, right? And I got that big juicy price target for Lulu up here at 418. So yeah, there's an argument to be made that, maybe Lulu's a better number one pick at this point. But you know what? We're going to judge ourselves from the 7% up from $71 entry last night, because I was already telling people last night, like, this is going to be a top pick tomorrow. So in any case,
Yes, you did.
top pick. But if you feel you missed it, right, 71 to 75 already, you think Lulu's better, go for it. We're not telling you exactly what to do. We're just giving you ideas. Look at this, Lulu. We're just giving you ideas of what stocks can outperform today. So GitLab, Tesla, Lulu, GEO, TSSI. Those are some wonderful ideas for you. Join us in our Discord. There's the link, storytrading.com/Discord. All right.
Yep.
We'll see you. Take care, guys.
Sounds good. Have a good one, guys.
Bye-bye.